The wait's over, guys. It's finally here. Seasons has come to FS19. Let's take a look at all the mods in the mod hub. Alright guys, so also with Seasons, we've gotten a couple new mods. We've got 4 mods in total today in the mod hub, so let's take a look at mods currently been put out there. Now, only 2 of which are available for all platforms. The other 2, well, Seasons related mods are only currently for PC. They will eventually come to console, but right now they're only in PC world, I guess we should say. So let's talk about the 2 mods that are available for all platforms currently. So, number 1. We have the Amazon 1001 or 1001. It is simply a fertilizer and herbicide tank. It holds an extra 1,000 liters. It sells for 5,500 bucks. That's about all there is to say about it. Nice looking little tank. There are no options available to it. And if I turn around behind me here, we have the Fendt 6275 harvester. It also comes with this header. It's a 7.5 meter header, I believe, so it's a little bit smaller than some of the bigger ones. It's more of a mid-size tractor, mid-size harvester, I should say, guys. I kind of think it's a skin. It looks very similar to the New Holland, I believe. Let me know in the comments. Am I right on that? Is this the New Holland? I think it's just a skin. Anyways, guys, it's it's the Fendt 6275. It sells for 220,000 bucks. It's 7.5 meter spread on it. Not a lot to talk about as far as options. You only have options for tires for regulars, and this is the wide tire setting on it. That is it. There's no other options available to this harvester. It's nice to have something Fendt, a Fendt brand name harvester in game, though. I will take it. So, we've talked about our 2 mod. There was also an update to the water fountain. But other than that, guys, I think everyone wants to talk about, well, all this snow. So let's dive in, talk a little bit more about Seasons and the other mod that we received for that. So along with Seasons, we got the Hauer snow pack. And I was totally wondering what we were going to do with the snow. Well, this kind of helps solve that problem, guys. So this here is well, it's a spreader, but it is designed to be a salt spreader instead of a fertilizer spreader. I haven't tested to see if you can spread fertilizer with it. I don't know if you'd want to. It's a smaller swath on it. It only does it's a 4 meter swath, sorry, and it only holds 1,500 liters. Now, 1,500 liters of what, right? Well, salt. So that's another option that we just received as well. So in your store now, you're going to be able to go to your big bag section, and at the end, you'll find road salt big bag. $2 grand, just shy of there, and purchase that. And it should have showed up right here. So we do have salt now. That is an option. Cool. So to fill this up, just like any of other implements, as you can see, I've been playing with this a little bit just to test things out. We can back up and go ahead and fill. So it's going to hold 1,500 liters of salt. Like I said, it has a swath of 3 meters for this, and it works up to 25 kilometers per hour. Now up in front, we got a plow. This here is the sorry, it's a 4 meter swath. I got that backwards. This is the snowplow and adjustable blade. Well, it does exactly what you would expect. Let me see if I can zoom around up front here so you can see it. Now, when you just drop it down, it finds the snow and you're allowed to push it around with the blade. That's pretty cool. So it's only 3 meters. It has a working speed of 25 kilometers per hour as well. So very similar, just a bit smaller with. Now the big difference between these 2 items. The spreader itself, the salt spreader, is more designed for a light snow. So right now we only have a light snow on this map. It hasn't snowed that much. We're early winter, as you can see up on the top right there. If it was a thicker amount of snow, the salt swath probably wouldn't work as well. So we're going to test that a little bit if I can. Let's start off with the blade. So you can see I've been messing around a little bit with both here, just pushing some snow around. Let's see if we can make a bit of a pile here. So I'm going to drop down our front blade, and I'm just going to push some snow up to the edge here. Once again, you want to make sure you go at a little bit of a slower speed, because otherwise you're going to start getting snow that'll sneak under the blade. If I go too fast, you're going to see what happens here. It probably, oh, you know what, it's not doing too bad. Oh, you can see it happen right at the end here. Some snow kind of bounced up underneath of it. So that's what happens if you go too fast. If you hold a bit of a moderate speed, it does a pretty good job of kind of handling it. So we can push this big pile here. We could actually use the blade and just shove that around if we wanted to. And that works fairly well. Now, so we've made that. That's all good and great. Let's see if we wanted to clear this out. Get rid of all this extra little stuff that we had here. Now, if we wanted to just use some salt, I could potentially just drop some salt down. And it gets rid of the smaller stuff, but you can see the stuff that has been built up. it's not getting rid of that. However, if I were to go down the middle over here, it should, there it goes. It gets rid of all the first layer of snow. So if we had anything that was thicker than that, that would be a bit of an issue, obviously. So I'm surprised, actually, it's not getting rid of the stuff that's in the middle. Let me just try that again here, just to take a quick look. Look at that. It does not, that's thick enough that the salt has no effect on it. Interesting. I thought for sure it would work in there, but if I go out to the roadway here, the salt does work. Interesting. Awesome. Well, that's cool. So that's good to know. Now, guys, also take into account that the milling machine, this aka the snowblower, is also a great tool for snow. To get rid of those piles later on, you may want to use that to move piles of snow around. Don't forget about that implement. It's fantastic for this stuff. We're not going to be showing it off today, but just be aware of that. Also, the snow when you're traveling around, guys. Since we're moving more into what we're talking about seasons now, I get pretty good traction when I am on the concrete here, as you can see. But soon as my tires hit this snow, it has been masked that you actually lose some traction. So if I crank this over, watch here, and we hit the snow. Let's see if it does it. There you go. You can see we can start doing some pretty good donuts in here if I'm on snow. The concrete holds pretty good. But as soon as I get out here, let's see if it goes. No, she doesn't want to steer. You can see there's definitely a difference in traction, which kind of got me off guard. I don't remember that being implemented in 17. I thought it was all the same. But there's definitely a difference in traction now in 19, for sure. I can't remember. If I'm wrong on that one, let me know in the comments if there was a difference in traction in 17. I don't remember it being much of an issue. So we've already started talking a little bit about the Seasons mod. Let's go a little bit more in depth. Now, this is going to be a very, very, very first look at some of the things in Seasons, guys. We'll start putting out some more videos in the next little bit here on more in-depth reviews of the things that are changed in Seasons. Of course, traction, like I said, is something I just noticed now, and that is a very cool feature. But you can see, actually, the snow is built up a little bit bigger than what I was looking at before, so take that into account, I suppose. So that is definitely a little bit thicker than I thought. Anyways, so let's move along. So when you first load up into Seasons, you will be in spring, early spring, so you'll have a whole harvest season to make some money and get ready for, well, winter, of course. Winter is going to be the hardest part of Seasons typically because you have to manage stuff without having access of planting. So another new mod that we did receive, and we'll show this off quickly here. So you'll go to your miscellaneous section in your implements. There it is. And there we have it, the MT9. So I already own the item, 5,000 bucks. This here item is going to be accessible just like your chainsaw is. And as you run out to a field here, we'll go take a quick look. This is going to give you a little bit more information about each of your fields. So, for instance, this wheat field that I own right here, I can hold down the B button on my controller and it's going to bring up a measurement and it's going to tell me exactly what was planted, the moisture content, the growth percentage, the water content. So it's basically going to give you an idea when it's best to harvest it and when it's best to plant on it. So how would you tell when it's also a good time to plant? Well, we also have a new feature as well. So to bring up the Seasons menu, which is totally different compared to what you've been used to as well, you want to hold the left Alt and S, and that brings up the Seasons menu. Now there's a couple tabs in this menu itself. The first tab is our calendar, which shows off the best times to plant, best times to harvest for each of our different crops. So on the very far left, you're going to find obviously which each of the different types of crops are. Our next line is the temperature that's going to be required for when you're planting. So this is the ground temperature as well, not the external temperature, but this is the ground temperature. So you'll see the wheat, barley, potato, sugar beets, poplars, those are kind of the lower end, 5 degrees Celsius, so early spring. You can plant it all through spring, and then as well, harvest season is all through the fall. So that's kind of the bare bones for that. So those are the easy ones, but you look down at cotton, 18 degrees Celsius. So on this particular map, it never becomes 18 degrees Celsius in the ground. You cannot plant cotton on Felsbrunn. Interesting. So just be aware, this is the main map or main menu you want to look at to try and figure out if it's warm enough or good enough to plant. Now, if you plant outside these temperatures, or if it's right on the cusp of these temperatures, you're going to run into problems with parts of your crops withering or all of your crops withering and not growing or not germinating. So that could be an issue as well. So we'll move on to the next menu here. This is our weather forecast. Gives you an idea of what kind of weather you do have. Now it also says forecast uncertainty increases with time, which is awesome. So there's no guarantee that Tuesday, this is the weather we're going to get. There's no guarantee that's what it thinks we're going to get, but that could also change. So that's real life. I like that. Next up, our crop info. We could talks about a little bit about frost resistance and the drought resistance. So what if it looks like we're going to have a very wet summer? What would be the best plants to go with, or versus a very hot summer? So this just gives you some ideas here. I've not messed around with this at all yet, guys. This is going to be a little bit more of an in-depth test, of course. Very interesting to take a look through some of this. Our next tab is the economy tab, and as you can see here, it changes a little bit over time, a little bit more in depth than we currently have in game. Now, it doesn't give you specific prices per different silo or sell point. This is just giving you an average over time of what each of the products are worth. So on the left-hand side, you can see we have all the different products as you would kind of expect. And then our graph is just giving you an average time. So you can look at this and figure out when are the best times to try to sell certain products. Now, right now, things are in base game. I haven't sold a single thing on this save yet. So this is just what it's figured out. So right now, sugar beets are about to go through the roof a little bit. Well, not a lot, but you know what I mean. Same with like manure here and silage. You can see that no one wants it during the middle of the year, but all of a sudden come winter, our prices bounce way up. So all that stuff is changing constantly, and the more you sell, it's obviously going to reflect and change the prices here, just like you would expect in base game. However, it's just a little bit more specific on what types of year the prices are going to change. And actually down at the bottom here, we can see our different animals. Wow, very cool. Anyways, so that there, guys, there's the economy tab. Our next menu is the crop rotation planner, and this will give you an idea what kind of multiplier you can expect and plan out which fields you're going to plant with which crops. So to select this, let's go with just wheat, say. Not sure cereal. Interesting there. Okay, so yeah, so it's telling you it's going from that. Interesting. Okay, so we'll start off with a wheat crop, and then if we wanted to go to our next crop, we'd have to decide. Well, let's go to. Well, we don't want to stay with a cereal. We want to go to something that's a little bit different, like a canola, to get us that the next percentage. So it'll be a 1.08 instead of, if we were to stay with oat or a cereal type crop, it would drop down to a 0.9. Now, next crop, we could go back to wheat, or if we went to something different, you can kind of see the percentage changes there. It's interesting that the crop after is getting more. Interesting. I'm not sure how that is working out for that. It shouldn't be in my mind. But anyways, we've got some testing still to do in this, guys. But this is your crop rotation planner. You want to do some experimenting yourself, but there seems to be a lot of options here. Yeah, we'll see exactly how this all turns out. And our last tab here, our last menu, is just the settings. So like I said, you can change your temperature, your season introduction. So I just give you a quick menu between each of your different seasons to give you an idea that, yeah, your seasons have changed. The season length, there's quite a few options here. From 3 days all the way to 24. Crop moisture, snow tracks, and snow mode all are optionable depending on if you want to have them on or not. So that there is the main seasons menu, guys. So guys, that there is kind of the bare bones bit of seasons. Man, so many things to look at. I mean, look at right now, it is 11:30 and there's no sunshine because we're in the middle of winter, early winter. It's so dark out. Your days, the time of days are going to change as well. Just be aware of that it gets lighter later, sun sets earlier. I just absolutely love it. It feels so authentic in that sense. Very cool. But like I said, guys, this is just a very quick, brief walkthrough of this new mod. Tons of new information. If you want to read up a little bit more on this and you decide to download it, you go to your start menu, go to your help section. You're going to find a whole new section based solely on seasons here down at the bottom. So definitely go take a read through some of this stuff. There's a lot of information on seasons in here. We'll be doing some tests on this in the coming days, probably coming weeks to be perfectly honest, because seasons is going to be a bit of a behemoth here. So can't wait to dive into this mod, guys. Go out and download if you're on PC right now. It is available right now. Go download that and take a look around. Lots of cool stuff to be happening. But anyways, guys, that's really going to do it. I got some work to go jump into seasons here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys, well, very soon. Have a good day, guys. Talk to you soon. This is Klutch. Over and out.